Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. Geopolitics, and today, September the 1st, we're going to be talking about the latest developments in Ukraine. So as we can see on the map, there are all these blue symbols everywhere again, which represent siren alerts. So basically what this means is that the Russians are launching missiles. Either the missiles are flying towards this direction or in the vicinity of where these blue symbols are. So the Russians still haven't run out of missiles. Not just yet. Alright, so let's start off in the north. Near Kherson, you see a huge cluster of Russian artillery strikes, rocket attacks, airstrikes, whatever it is. It seems like the Russians want to maybe extend their bridgehead, perhaps even start to develop the bridgehead in a way so that they could eventually cut off Kharkiv. Eventually, that could be an option for them. Maybe they're going to go for Zolochiv next. Who knows? Now this map hasn't been updated properly, so we know that the Russians control Udi and at least some of the bordering towns. So let me fix that up. So most analysts agree that this is what the map should look like. Let me just finish this up quickly. So yeah, they control Udi and these bordering towns right there. And there are some rumors that the Ukrainians are stashing away a lot of armored vehicles in their underground, where bombs can't really reach them. So perhaps the Ukrainians are getting ready for a counteroffensive here around the Kharkiv, north of Kharkiv, to just get rid of this bridgehead. That would be a good propaganda win for them, and it's only a few kilometers, so it might be something they believe that's doable. Also at the Izium bridgehead. At the Izium bridgehead, there are a lot of rumors about Ukrainians building up their forces, building up a lot of armor, specifically a lot of tanks and armored vehicles. I think what they want to do is they want to cut off the MO3. They want to cut off and then maybe go for this town, Savinsk, however you pronounce that. If they can cut off this junction right here, that would be huge for them, right? If they could cut off this junction, this would definitely disrupt the Russian supply routes. So, or even if they can get to the M103. So that remains to be seen if they're going to launch an offensive there. But there's rumors floating around. We're gonna have to wait and see. There's fighting all along the front line. Not much progress really. The Russians recently, the Wagner group took Kodema and the town of Kodema, and right now the Ukrainians are launching counterattacks, a counteroffensive on the outskirts to try to push the Russians back, because they realize that the Russians right now, they control Dacha, Zaitseve, and Kodema. And I think the Ukrainians realize that if the Russians extend further, then they could go from here north towards Bakhmut. Right? They could threaten Bakhmut from the south, so they want to prevent that. So that's one thing that's happening right now. in the Pisky, the town of Pisky that the Russians took. Their ultimate goal is to encircle Avdiivka. It seems like they're trying to extend Pisky in every direction, towards this town, towards this direction, and even here. They're trying to extend it out like a flower, as they say, like a budding flower, the same way they did with Popasna. If you recall, Popasna was just like a bulge at one point, and then it just kept expanding and expanding in various directions. And yeah, so they're trying to do that with Pisky right now. Marinka, there's fighting at Marinka, which the Russians have taken recently. But anyways, let's get to the Kherson front, which is the most interesting right now. So in the Kherson front, honestly, honest to God, this is there's a lot of there's a lot of conflicting reports, and there's so many conflicting reports by so many different sources that it's just really almost impossible to know what's truly really going on the ground. Let's start in the south. So the Russian sources claim that they control Alexandriivka or Alexandriivka. Just one second here. Yeah. So Russian sources claim to control this town, but these Ukrainians seem to be assaulting this town, and some Ukrainian sources claim that Ukraine has taken this town. This town has changed hands. It's not a particularly large settlement, but I believe it has changed hands several times throughout this war, back and forth. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Ukrainians have been able to take it. This is day 3 of the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kherson, by the way. According to some sources, the Ukrainians have successfully, the Russians have admitted this, that the Ukrainians have taken Ternovi Podi. So the Ukrainians have apparently forced the Russians out of this settlement. Let's zoom in on it. It's not a particularly large settlement. Most of the settlements here are not. They're more like little, what you call hamlets or like road junctions. But yeah, the Russians have withdrawn from here. Now you can see these bomb symbols. Probably the Russians are pounding that area with artillery as we speak. So the Russians are pounding the entire front line. There's fighting along the entire front line, but the Ukrainians have only so far been able to make gains. Some say in Alexandriivka. The Russians say in this town here. Forgot the name already. Ternovi Podi. In this junction. And the most success the Ukrainians have had so far is right here. They started off, I believe, on the first day or two by taking Suki Stavok, and then there were some reports that because the Russians were pounding this area so hard with artillery, that the Ukrainians actually withdrew. But it seems that they sent more forces towards this area. They sensed some weakness, and they sent some more forces. And you can see this is not even a really a village. It's just like a road junction. But yeah, the Ukrainians have taken this road junction. And then they've expanded here to Kostromka. Again, another road junction. If we zoom in. So they've taken that. And then they've gone northeast, and last we heard they were on the outskirts of Brukhinsk, or some say now they've taken Brukhinsk. But anyways, that's actually important because, as you can see, this road right here connects to all these settlements. Right here, all along here. Now, some of them have other roads that connect them to the other Russian-controlled settlements, but some of them don't seem to. So it's just a precarious situation, a difficult situation for the Russians if they can't regain control of this road. Now, while we're talking about this, some say that the Russians actually control this chunk of land here, like this. So the Russians control this, and now the Ukrainians control this. If that's true, then if that's true, then I mean, so let me explain it. Some people are saying that this bulge here doesn't look like this, but it looks more like something like this. Let me just draw a line here. So some people are saying that the Ukrainians actually just control more of a lanky bulge, like what's within the west side of this line, this side of this line right here, which would make the Ukrainian position more vulnerable. But in any case, it's only the third day, and we're talking about little settlements, little road junctions. Just to give you an idea, in the last about a week ago, the Russians basically took all of this territory right here. They basically took all of this territory, something like that, and that's like 20 settlements. So, and they didn't make a big fuss about it or a big deal about it. No one reported on it. And the problem for the Ukrainians here is that they're outgunned. The Russians have more artillery, and this counteroffensive, the Russians might actually benefit the Russians, because with their artillery, they've been trying to target Ukrainian positions for the last couple of months. Now the Ukrainians are exposing themselves, and according to the Russians, okay, so take this with a pinch of salt, or a grain of salt, or maybe a cup of salt, but according to the Russians, on the first day they had 500 Ukrainians killed. On the second day it had reached 1,200. Now they're saying that by the third day they have killed 1,700. 1,700 Ukrainians have been killed in action. 63 tanks, Ukrainian tanks, have been destroyed. 59, this is the Russian Ministry of Defense, by the way, 59 infantry fighting vehicles have been destroyed, 48 armored fighting vehicles. And so I think by infantry fighting vehicles, the 59, so 63 tanks, they're just tanks. 59 infantry fighting vehicles, I think they mean BMPs by that. 48 armored fighting vehicles, I think they mean BTRs by that, so the wheeled vehicles. And the BMPs, the 59 BMPs, would be like tracked vehicles. And 14 pickup trucks. So 63 tanks, 59 IFVs, 48 armored fighting vehicles, 14 pickup trucks with heavy machine guns. And the Russians are saying they've shot down 2 Su-25s fighter jets, 1 Su-24 fighter jet bomber, and 1 MiG-29 fighter jet, and 3 Mi-8 transport helicopters. So they're saying that the Ukrainians have lost all of that in the last three days. Now, if there is any truth to this, if the Russians have indeed killed 1,700 Ukrainians, the rule of thumb is that for every one soldier killed, there's another 3 that are injured, captured, or missing. You do the math. If the Russians are telling the truth, then that would mean that 1,700 Ukrainians have been killed, but that would mean that about 6,800 Ukrainians are casualties. So they're injured, captured, or missing, or killed altogether. Because for every 1 killed, there's 3 that are injured, captured, or missing, right? So that would mean on the 3rd day, approximately, if the Russians are telling the truth, that would mean that the Ukrainians are losing, they're sustaining 2,000 casualties a day. Now the Ukrainians themselves have said they're going on this offensive with 15,000 troops. I've heard some people say it's in the it's like something in the mid-20,000s. And one source says it's more like 36,000, but in any case, 2,000 casualties a day, that would mean that in 10 days, the Ukrainians would be finished. I mean, it's not sustainable. Now, let's assume that the Russians are lying, and they're half lying. They're only telling half the truth. Again, that's still not good for the Ukrainians, because that would mean that the Ukrainians, in about 2 weeks, they're going to lose 15,000 men, right? 15,000 casualties, approximately. So in 2 weeks, I mean, even if that's half your force, that's just not sustainable. From what I've heard, allegedly the head of the Ukrainian army, I forget his name, Zalufki, he didn't want to go on this offensive, but he was basically put in a do-or-die situation by President Zelensky, who said, either you do this or resign. So Zaluzhny went on the offensive regardless, and now, according to the Russians, the Ukrainians are sustaining massive casualties and losses of material. Some videos have come out showing some tanks provided by Poland being captured or destroyed, and some other vehicles, and etc. But we haven't seen proof of we haven't seen 1,700 bodies, we haven't seen 63 tanks. But in any case, that's what the Russians are saying. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, by now, the IAEA should have arrived there, or they should be close, and it seems like the Ukrainians are still shelling the area despite the IAEA being there. So yeah, that's just an ongoing situation. I've talked about it previously. And anyways, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, help me grow the channel. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe. You can always change your mind later. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.